This is lesson 3.7, page 131. Today we're going to estimate decimal sums and differences. How can you estimate decimal sums and differences? So we're going to practice rounding decimals, and we're also going to look at benchmarks with decimals. A singer is recording a CD. The length of 3 songs are 3 4/10 minutes, 2 78/100 minutes, and 4 19/100 minutes. About how much total recording time will be on the CD? Before we actually round, here's a little reminder about rounding. To round a number, determine the place to which you want to round. We've done that by circling it, or underlining it, and then underlining the one next to it. If the digit to the right is less than 5, the digit in the rounding place stays the same. If the digit to the right is 5 or greater, the digit in the rounding place increases by 1. So it's just like you've been rounding since you started rounding in 1st or 2nd grade. It says use rounding to estimate. Round to the nearest whole number, so that would be the number in the ones place. So 3 4/10 rounds to 3. The 4 does not affect the 3, right? 2 78/100. Does 7 affect the 2?
Yes.
Makes it do what? Go up 1. And does 1 affect the 4?
No.
No. Makes it stay the same. So 3 4/10 is rounded to 3. Should probably be writing. 2 78/100 is rounded to 3, and 4 19/100 is rounded to 4. So then we're going to add the numbers in the column that we estimated in. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So there will be about 10 minutes of recording time on the CD. Okay, this is in the try this on the bottom of the page. It says round to the nearest whole dollar, then subtract. To the nearest whole dollar, $27.95 minus $11.72 is about what? So let's do our rounding. $27.95 is the 95 going to make that round up to 28 or stay at 27?
Round up.
Yes, the 9 will make that round up. So now we have $28. And $11.72. Does the 7 make the 1 round up or stay the same?
No.
Round up. So then we have $12. And 28 minus 12, 8 minus 2 is 6, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So it is about $16. Okay, if you look at box B, on page 131 under the try this, they want you to round to the nearest $10. So again, we have $27.95 and $11.72. And we're going to round to the nearest $10. So $27.95. What are our closest 10 numbers to 27? 20 and
30.
So 27 is closer to
30.
And what are our closest 10 numbers? Our multiples of 10 close to 11.
10,
20. And is this closer to 10 or 20?
10.
10. So 30 minus 10 is $20. So to the nearest $10, $27.95 minus $11.72 rounds to 30 and 10, which leaves us 20. Now down at the bottom of that page it says, do you want to an overestimate or an underestimate when you estimate the total cost of items you want to buy? So say you have things you want to buy. You're trying to decide if you're going to take enough money with you to the store. Would you overestimate what you're going to take or what you need at the checkout, or would you underestimate? What do you think? Over. Why would we overestimate?
In case it's like a little bit more than you expected.
Okay, because we wouldn't want to get up to the checkout or get to the store and not have enough money, right? Okay, I just want to show you how they word that. Okay, so one way you might word that is I would want to overestimate to make sure I had enough money to buy the item. And that is down at the bottom of page 131. Okay, let's go on to our next page. So 132. Now we're going to talk about benchmarks. Benchmarks are familiar numbers used as points of reference. You can use the benchmarks 0, 25 hundredths, 50 hundredths, 75 hundredths, and 1 to estimate decimal sums and differences. So this would really be no different than rounding a whole number to 25, 50, 75, or 100. Okay. Because locate, we're going to use benchmarks to estimate 18 hundredths plus 43 hundredths. Locate and graph a point on the number line for each decimal. Identify which benchmark each decimal is closer to. So they have already graphed 18 hundredths for you. And so we're going to have to figure out where 43 hundredths is. And these are increments of 5, I believe. So this would be 30 hundredths, 35 hundredths, 40 hundredths, 45 hundredths, and 50 hundredths. So this, if this is 45 hundredths, 43 hundredths would be a little bit less than 45 hundredths, but not halfway between. So we're going to put a point right there. And we're going to label that 0 and 43 hundredths. We are if my pencil works. Okay, so once you label that, those two items, it says think. 18 hundredths is between 0 and 25 hundredths. Just looking here, what can you tell about 18 hundredths? It's closer to 25 hundredths, isn't it? So 25 hundredths. 43 is between what? 25 hundredths and what?
50 hundredths.
But it's closer to 50 hundredths. So when we rounded 18 hundredths to our nearest benchmark, we rounded that to 25 hundredths. And we rounded 43 hundredths to our nearest benchmark. We rounded that to 50 hundredths. So 25 hundredths plus 50 hundredths is equal to what? 75 hundredths. So 18 hundredths plus 43 hundredths is about 75 hundredths. Okay, now we're going to use benchmarks to estimate again. 76 hundredths minus 22 hundredths, and this time we're subtracting. Locate and graph a point on the number line for each decimal. Identify each benchmark each decimal is closer to. So let's look at 76 hundredths would be just past 75, just 1 point past it, so it's not going to be very far away. And then 22 hundredths, what will that be close to?
25.
25. Okay, remember that this mark is 20. And so 22 would be not quite halfway. Okay, go ahead and label those on. Okay, now that we have graphed our points, let's go ahead and look at the questions. So 7,600 is between which two things? 7,500 and 1. It is closer to, nobody knows, 7,500. 22 is between 0 and 25. It is closer to
2,500.
So 7,600 is 7,500. 2,200 is 2,500. So 7,500 minus 2,500 is 50 hundredths. So 7,600 minus 2,200 is about 50 hundredths. This is number 1 on page 133 under the share and show. And we're going to round this to the nearest whole number. We're going to round each of these. So 2 and 34 hundredths, what is the 3 going to make that 2 do? Is it going to make it go 2 or up to 3?
Stay at 2.
Stay at 2. So you should be writing this somewhere. How about the 9 in 1 and 9/10? What's the 9 going to make that one do?
Go to 2.
Go to 2. And then the 2 in 5 and 23 hundredths is going to make that stay at 5. And we're adding. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 5 is 9. Very good. Okay, let's go on. This is number 2 on that same page. And again, we're going to round to the nearest whole number. Raise your hand if you know what 10 and 39 hundredths would be rounded to the nearest whole number. Parker.
10.
10. Now someone other than Parker, what are we going to round 4 and 23 hundredths to? Faith. 4 and 28 hundredths, sorry.
5 and 4.
And we're subtracting. 10 minus 4 is 6. Let's see what this one is. Okay. This is the hot problem on our page. Let's go ahead and do that on our own, and then we'll check our answer. Okay. Most of you rounded this to $20 for $19.75. And $3.98, you rounded up to $4. And that would be an answer of $24, the sum of